So, friends, once again, a very joyful welcome. Some of you I saw today in the morning, just before this session. So, joy to see you again here. Nice to see you, Mohini ji, also after a long time. So, friends, a humble request more and more videos, more and more joyful is the satsang, more and more is the flow of the energy within the session. So, come, put on your videos. Let's see you. So, we begin with the topic today working with the others, the art of getting along with the others, or living in harmony. I like to begin with a folk tale. There was an old man, he lay dying. He called his six sons and gave them his final words of advice. He told them to go and fetch 7 thin sticks. When the sons got the sticks, he took one thin stick and he broke it. It broke so easily. Then he told his friends that you tie all these 7 sticks, remaining 6 sticks, in a bundle. The sons tied them, and then he gave that bundle of sticks to the sons. The first son, the eldest one, he tried, twisted everywhere, didn't work. He gave it to the second son. The second son also tried to break it, but he could not break the bundle of the sticks. So everyone tried and they could not do it. So the old man said to them, now each of you have seen that you can't break the bundle. But one by one, if you try to break the stick, you can. So he said, my sons, let this be my parting counsel to you. If you remain loyally united together, no one will be able to break you. But if each of you goes his own way, you may meet some people who, wanting to break you, will succeed in doing so. So, with this in our hearts, in our minds, we start the topic, the art of getting along with the others. It took me a long time to understand where is the need to understand and read more about it. We just know, yeah, we need to get along with each other at work, get along with the others. If they're upset, they shout for the wrong thing, shout back. If they're kind, be kind. Life runs like this. Just what you receive, you give. But that came a new principle, a new cosmic law, a new theory of Paramhansa Yogananda. He sounded a little different, but it was worth trying. He said, time on earth is not vacation. It is time to discipline ourselves. He said, our time on earth, it is a school. The most important disciplines in our life on earth, number 1 is meditation. The other, second, he said, is how to live in harmony with the others. How to live in harmony with the others at work, at home, with friends, and not only with people, how to live in harmony with different situations. Also, important is how to live in harmony with our own selves. We have such contradictory thoughts running around in our heads. It's a jumble, it's a medley of thoughts. and we feel so disturbed what to follow, what is right. So, harmony within ourselves, work, home, family. He gave it, Yogananji, in his teachings, gave meditation number one place and living with the others in harmony the second place. So, how important it is to live in harmony, and living in harmony doesn't happen automatically. There are some principles involved in that. There was a research that was conducted which shows that we feel that the common source of the greatest of the stress producers are job demands, family demands, financial problems, sickness in the family, and so on. We think these are the greatest stress producers. Yogananji said the most upsetting occasions are interpersonal relationships. He said, have you experienced it? Have you? Each one of us has. We all have. Sit down for meditation. We still our bodies. We still our minds. We are in complete silence. And we have full concentration. We have the life force flowing through our chakras. Our emotions are calm. And suddenly, when you are going into deeper meditation, something comes and starts buzzing in your heart. That buzzing thing, if we had an emotional showdown in a situation or with a person, we're all set to meditate, but that experience is not leaving us. So that is the point today, is living in harmony within ourselves and with the people around. Meditation and living in harmony with people, working with others in harmony, are the two most important pieces of our lives. Not everybody in this world is at the same level. We have about, I do not know how many people have joined, we have about 50 people in this Sangha. And not everybody is at the same level of understanding, the same level of behavior. We come in contact with people. In my office terminology, we say, he's a bit off. Or we come across some people for whom we say, he's badly off, he's totally off. What is that off thing? Is about our level of progress, of our understanding, of our consciousness, of our living lives with the higher principles. Very difficult to get along with people at work and home and situations and circumstances and with ourselves. We may think living by ourselves, for instance, being a monk, or living a life where we have least interaction could be a good solution, because you have hardly any interaction with people. So there's no disturbance, there's no resistance. I'm fine. I'm living in the home, I'm alone. I work on my computer in Zoom sessions like we are on a Zoom session. So there's no interaction and I'm fine. There's no resistance. Yogananji said that in our daily association with people, it plays an important part in our success in life. Interaction with people, association with people plays a very important role in our evolution. And when he said, when we have no opposition, there is no impetus to change. Unchallenged, the ego reigns and we remain the same. There is no one resisting my actions. Nobody is resisting or saying that I don't think the way you think. So we're living our lives, we are by ourselves. Generally, it is through our daily interactions with the others. Our characters, our habits, our likes and dislikes, our behavior, our traits of the character are exposed. Our undesirable traits meet strong resistance. Undesirable traits. We are faced to recognize and overcome these imperfections. And why are we forced? If you continue to live with those imperfections, you'll have no friends. People will go and find people who have a smoother personality. Being thrown in with many personalities, different personalities, serves like a pumice stone to rub away the negative attitudes within. So it's important to being in the midst of the people, at home, work, friends, wherever. Because then in our interactions, by the expressions of the people, they don't even have to utter the words. Something that we have said is off. Something in a manner that I interacted, they didn't like. The facial expressions, the energies flowing in their aura tell us they haven't enjoyed it. And if we are sensitive enough, we understand that this needs to change. Living in harmony with people, this needs to change. The necessity to improve hastens our evolution. By interacting with the people, we are coming to understand our flaws, and by changing, removing those flaws, we are growing in our evolution. And why do I need to grow in the evolution? We need to grow in the evolution in our consciousness evolution, because that's why we are here. By growing or raising the bar of our consciousness, we are more happy. And we are here to have more happiness, more and more and more. We need to increase that level of happiness. It depends whether we are willing to change. The ego says that everybody else's attitude is wrong. I am fine. I don't need to do anything. I look around here, there, here, where. I'm fine. My home is fine. My office is fine. My clothes are fine. My way of talking is fine. Everything's fine. The other person needs to change. As long as we have this attitude and we think that other person needs to change, we have no impetus to change ourselves. The cosmic law says that we have to change regardless of how the other people behave. To work in harmony with the others, we have to be thoughtful of the others. This is the main key point, to be thoughtful of the others. Paramhansa Yogananda has said that often when we are working for some activity in a group, sometimes in Ananda we have spiritual fairs, when whole lot of people, 30, 40 people come together to put up that event. And that is the time we work together and we learn what are the things that I need to change in my lives. In our lives, we come to live with the people whom we love, and also we live with the people whom we hate. The people we love, the people we hate, they're both drawn together to us. We will not be able to straighten out the other person. It's not our job. Our job is that we learn, and we learn that what are the lessons that I need to bring about in my lives? What are the changes that I need to bring about in my lives? I'm sure when you came to this session, you were thinking, oh, I will learn some tricks how to straighten out the other person. I came here to learn, oh, I'll have some tricks, how to correct that person in my office, or how to correct somebody in my home. And there are some hidden tricks which I don't know yet. I'll learn those tricks and then apply them. The situations come to us with the purpose of being or bringing a change within us. The situation, the people, the things that come to us and which we don't like, friends, those are the situations and the people who are our biggest teachers. They have come in our lives to bring about a change within us. Something which is not correct in me, they have come to point out to us, don't worry about the people or the situation. Think about the change they're saying is required in our lives. Give it a thought. You may think that person is doing something wrong and he needs to change. But why did that person come to you in your life? Why didn't that person go to somebody else? He was drawn to you because you had some karmic flaw in you or in me which needed a change. So that situation, that person came to me because I had to change something within myself. There was Paramhansa Yogananda once was asked a question, a story, as a real story, that I see something wrong in a monk. Can I tell him what's wrong with him? Paramhansa Yogananda said, I think you leave it with his counselor. The disciple became quiet, but he again said, Swamiji, if I see something really wrong, and I really feel like telling him, can I go and tell him? Yogananji still again answered, why don't you write a note to his counselor? Repeatedly, the disciple, wanted to go and tell that person that this is wrong with you, that monk, and change yourself. And a couple of monks who were complaining to Paramhansa Yogananji about another monk. Swamiji listened to him patiently. When he finished, Swamiji replied by saying, change yourself. If you want to live in harmony with the other people, do not expect them to change. Change yourself. And the monks who were complaining about the others later said, you know, it is true. When I feel good, everything is okay. And when I'm down, I want to criticize everybody. That error, the flaw that I'm finding with the others, we need to change. We need to find a workaround how to work with that person. Paramhansa Yogananda said, yes, it is a reflection of our own. A person has positives, negatives, everything. But if we go on not focus on the positives and we go on focusing on the negatives, that means the dot of that negative is within me, which is attracting that person to me. And we need to bring about a change. There was a person in a real life story and in Ananda village. He was friend of Swami Kriyanand, and Swami Kriyanand knew that he was working in a company where he had a very hard time with his boss. So he quit the job and he went to another company. So Swami Kriyanand asked that person, oh, how is it going in the other company? That person thought, and then he looked at Swami Kriyanandji very seriously and he said to him, Swamiji, do you know, I left that company because my boss was so bad. And in this, my new company, I have found 6 other people who are like my one boss, because of which I quit the company. Understand that point? If I am facing a bad karma with a situation, circumstance, or a person, don't blame that and don't try to quit that situation. Learn to work around them, because if you leave that situation, you quit being with that person somewhere else, the same situation will show up again. It's not the person, it's the situation. It's the situation that is coming to you repeatedly to bring about a change in you. The situation is not about that person. The situation is about ourselves. The story is an excellent example of the truth that the karma cannot be simply avoided. Often indeed, if it is simply wiser to square off bravely and accept it, while concentrating, developing an attitude that is required to work around that situation. Don't quit the situation. Be brave. Develop an attitude how to work around that situation. A couple came to the ashram. They had been together for 20 years very peacefully and happily. And then they said, we just can't live with each other, so we're filing for divorce. And so the counselor said to them, I give you one suggestion. Go home and see, think about it. How, he told the husband and the wife, think about it. How is it for my wife to live with me? Told the husband that you think about it. How is it for the wife to live with me? And they both thought about it. They found there were so many corrections that they could do in their attitudes that were not happy situations or annoying situations for the partner. So after about 2 weeks, they went back and they said, we don't want to file for the divorce. We want to work on ourselves. So to live in harmony is to work on ourselves, to work on our attitudes. Remember, the people and the situations which are annoying to us come to us not because those situations or the people are now annoying. They come to us because something, that karmic debt is in me which needs to be squared off. Something we have done in our karmas which needs to be corrected. And that is why that situation is coming to us. So, one simple answer: change yourself, groom yourself, elevate yourself to work around such people and such situations. In Autobiography of a Yogi, we all have learned, we read that book. There's a story of Mukunda, who as a very young kid came to Swami Yukteswar and said, I'm leaving the hermitage, I'm going to the Himalayas. Swami Yukteswarji tried to explain to him that if you can find God in the Himalayas, all the people living there would have been self-realized saints by now. He didn't listen to them, he went. He didn't find God, he came back and he went to Swami Yukteswar with a very sheepish face. And because he just left his duties of managing the kitchen, the monks and everything abruptly. So he said, my teacher, Guru, will be very mad with me. So he looked at him very sheepishly and Swami Yukteswar said to him, come, let's go grab some food. He was so shocked. He said, Swamiji, aren't you angry with me? And I left you against your advice. Shri Yukteswarji said, I do not expect anything from the others. Therefore, their actions cannot be contrary to my wishes. I am only happy in your happiness. Same thing. That's hard. It is hard to go beyond our egos and to include everybody in our lives. To get along with the others, that means becoming unselfish, thinking of the other person. Peace, overcoming selfishness. The moment we have achieved this, we have passed the school and we know how to get along with the others. I invite Meenakshi.
Thank you, Vibhaji, for making life difficult for us. We have to work hard now. Thank you so much. So, taking these thoughts forward, when I got this topic for satsang, I was very happy that I have so many friends. I love to be with them. I don't have anyone who I have to make an effort to get along. They, I am natural. So, not much work involved here. But then I started thinking a bit more deeply. And I said, no, wait a minute. What about that person who often irritates me in the office? And no matter how much I tell him to come on time, he's always late. And we have this sort of a shouting sparks fly and whatever happens. And then this relative who just picks up the phone and goes on and on about gossiping others, talking nonsense and stories. We all have such people in our lives, don't we? And how to deal with her, I can't just brush her off. And then what about my children? We never see eye to eye. They have a quick answer argument for everything, and they are real tough nuts to crack. How can I get along always smoothly? So obviously I'm missing something. So I need to read more what master says, and I have to meditate upon it. Now, coming on the question of meditation, I thought I meditate quite well. I meditate regularly. I do my energization exercises. I try to do once a week longer meditation. In a way, I'm just ticking off all the boxes. Master has told us whatever to do. I'm ticking them off. So I am progressing spiritually. No problem there. But then why this topic of getting along with one another? What does this has to do with things? But then I remembered that when you sit down to meditate, as Vibhaji pointed out, if you've had sparks flying in the day with someone, then what happens? It seems like there is a thick curtain behind which God has decided to hide today. In fact, it's almost like a wall which is impervious. So, what to do about that? Master says that make peace with your worst enemy. Now, that's a tough one, isn't it? So, in fact, there are studies done which say that the greatest source of stress in day to day life is not your big problems of life, not that court case that is going on, not that financial trouble that is hiding, in your life, but it is the day to day challenge, the mind's struggle to change what or who we don't get along with. So that's the greatest stress in our day to day life. And anyone who has tried to meditate with such things going on, running in their mind, can agree with that. So, of course, we can run away to the Himalayas, we can run away to the forest, but as Vibhaji said, that won't help. We will only be happy and maybe become a bit more prosperous, bit more round, eating, enjoying, meditating. That won't achieve anything. So, what do we do? Master says that the delusion that this life is real cannot be destroyed by running away to the forest. You have to play the role which God has created for you. So, we have to stay here, we have to play the role given to us, we have to face that irritating boss, we have to chew what God has put on the plate for us today. That is what we have to chew, digest, and do it well so that we can transcend to the next step. In fact, Master said that if you don't have such a person in your life, then find one. So, think of any person who you have conflict with. Think of anyone and think that God has specially curated him for you. He's customized your life. He's made that special person in your life so that in this life you get rid of some delusion that you are having in your mind. Now, Swamiji also said that if there is someone who pushes your wrong buttons, if there is someone who hurls abuses on you, the first is always to not to react, be calm. And then he says that go hide in private, at least in private, try to correct yourself. So remember, that person, part of the thing that he's saying may be true. That's why it's hurting so much. So try to change that in yourself. Now let's come to some practical points. What do I do now? What do I go home and how should I behave? What should I do? So Master says that if you want people to listen, practice listening first. If you want more love, give more love. If you want more peace, carry peace inside you. Because you cannot give what you don't have. And then he says that getting along doesn't mean agreeing on everything. Realize where they are coming from. Realize where they are coming from. Such a great lesson. And in my spiritual journey, I got this lesson very early on, very early on. So what happened, and this is a very private thing that I'm sharing, that I had just started on the path and I was very full of enthusiasm. I have this great guru who's a avatar, and I have got this kriya which is supposed to be a super fast way of self-realization, and I was full of that enthusiasm within me. And I said, this is a treasure that I've found. I've just chanced upon this treasure God has given me. So I must share it with everyone. I must go on the top of the roof and shout from there, hey world, what are you doing? You're missing out something great. So I looked around, nobody is listening. And then I caught a hold of my husband. I said, he must listen. He has to come to the path. I must tell him. And anyone who has tried to change their spouse would know that just the wrong thing to do is just the thing not to do. So anyway, at that time, I didn't have perhaps the maturity to know that. So I went to him, and every day I would push him, come to the center, learn the techniques. And he would always say, no, I'm tied up a bit, and no, I don't have time today. So slowly I realized that he's not keen. And that sort of started making an aura of irritation all around me whenever I was in his company. And that made the relationship a little bit rocky. So in my meditation, I was praying to Master that I didn't come to the path for this. I came for peace and harmony. You promised me. Now where are you? So tell me what to do. And I had this amazing answer from Master, my Guru. So one day, I vividly remember that day. I was working in the kitchen and my husband was working alongside me. And suddenly, this idea, this voice flashed in my mind. And my Master has a very creative but very clear way of speaking to us when he wants to. And all our sincere prayers are answered. So this voice told me, if you cannot love the person next to you, then you cannot love me. And it was a very strict voice that you better follow this. But what to say, once I heard that so clearly, immediately my irritation dropped. And I knew that what is happening, my husband, whatever path he's on, that's a blessed path. And that's a relationship he has with his God, in whatever form he worships God, So I have no business to interfere. And that sort of created a kind of a loving energy in the house. So much so that now my husband, he fully supports my path. He fully understands, and he has reverence for these gurus. and he does meditate. So the point here is that gradually in this path, when we come, we keep learning one lesson after another, keep polishing our ego, and wherever we have to reach in this life, it may not be complete liberation or moksha, but at least when we go away from here, as Vibhaji said, in this school, if we came in the 8th class, at least we should aim to reach the ninth or the 10th, if not, complete graduation. So, Master says that there is a magnet in your heart which attracts true friends. That magnet is unselfishness, thinking of others first, and then he says, when you live for others, they live for you. So, try to chew this today. So, what are a few things that are very, very necessary to do? The first, I would say, is what expression are we carrying on our face when we go out and interact with the world? Master says that our face is the history of our lives. So, if we have been kind and considerate all through our lives, our face is going to be little softer, little, happy. Sometimes, you feel someone walks in through the door and you find that the whole room has lit up. This really looks like lights there. And Master says, smile. Get up in the morning, go to the mirror and put a smile on your face. And he says, if you don't get a smile, then stick one, because it is that important. So in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror and stick a smile, even if it doesn't come naturally to you. And then he says, when with others, be sincere and thoughtful. Because he says the company of a corpse is better than the company of a absent-minded person. Because a corpse or a dead body is not at least knowingly ignoring you. So when with others, be thoughtful, be sincere. Now, personally, in my life, there is one thing that I have always found very useful, and that is, um, when life gets to be very intense, and it can get very intense with the household, with the profession, with the people as they are, and somebody in the message just now is writing about toxic people. So it gets very, very intense. So the quote that I like to remember in such times is, Master said, you have come to this world to entertain and to be entertained. So don't take life too seriously. Develop a sense of humor. And whenever a tough or a toxic person comes in your presence, then think that this one is my spiritual gym equipment. Like you go to a gym, you lift, the heavier weight you lift, the happier you feel, I've achieved something today. The same way, if you can maintain your groundedness, your equanimity in the presence of such a person, that is the true test of whatever meditation you had in the morning. So think about it. Master says that if you want to become a boxer, fight other boxers, don't fight a child. So we all as devotees have gathered here, we have all decided to transcend our karmic burden. So then it is important to have a sense of humor. Any exercise will be painful but worthwhile. Remember that. And then last, one more thing, the very important tool, the very precious tool that we have been given is introspection. And at the end of the day, after your meditation, introspect, just like in Mahabharata, Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya in the first shloka, in the battle of Kurukshetra, what did they? Meaning, What did the Kauravas, the downward pulling energy in the in our own spine, and what did the Pandavas, the upward pulling forces in our spine? How did they, who won? So at the end of the day, do that. But remember to keep it dispassionate. Dispassionate is the key word. Don't get carried away. Oh no, today my Kauravas won. Oh no, I am not able to do it. Oh no, I am a weakling. No, no, no. Don't go into that that kind of thinking. What did they think of it dispassionately with detachment? If you feel that the downward pull has been more, then decide and resolve, tomorrow I will do better. So, step by step, we will all reach there. Thank you.
I think I'd like to do, Meenakshi, I was thinking we'll do uh, a 2 minutes visualization, trying to cleanse our hearts, our thoughts. So I'll request everyone to sit straight, bring your gaze to the spiritual eye. All the friends, please put on your videos so that we can have the sharing of the energies and a greater flow of the magnetism. Some of you have a personal issue in switching on the video, I understand, but those of you who can, do that, please. So, your spine straight, shoulders roll back, chest wide open. Take 2 long breaths. Imagine a field of tall wheat grass. You are the breeze, bending the grass one way and the other. Reflect what it takes to make the grass lean as you would like, not a dominating force so much as an influence. Friends, people can't forever be driven. They must be influenced from within. In your case, from your own inner self to theirs. Only thus will they bend willingly to your wishes. The grass they represent will stand tall again once that influence ceases. Let your influence in this world be one of kindness and support, not of driving force or coercion. Leave to everyone his free will. When you try thus to help others, they will always be with you. I am one with all. I work with all towards a common goal. success, and happiness. So, Meenakshi ji, would you do a chant, please, today, and we can do some arti? Friends, take a moment if you're sitting near your altars, or if you can move to the altar space in your house, wherever, you can light a diya and we'll do a arti together and make this arti magnetic and harmonious, filled with devotion, filled with prayer for each other in this session. We are, I think, about 50, 60 people. It will bring a great magnetism. Let's light our diyas. We'll close with a prayer of peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Om Shanti. So, dear friends, go with joy and a great joy to be together and to be doing this satsang and bringing the presence of the Gurus together with us here, bringing Guru's grace together and lighting our hearts and lighting each other's lives. Om